everyone. My name is Donovan Goode. I am a senior program manager at Microsoft on the PowerPages CAT team, supporting the PowerPages product. And today we will be doing a deep dive in admin and governance for PowerPages. I also have with me here is my colleague, Nikita Polyakov as well.
Hi, I'm Nikita Polyakov. I'm also a senior program manager in PowerPages CAT team. And today I'll be helping Donovan by role-playing an administrator of Power Platform at Contoso, our favorite customer. So as this new role, I'm going to play the administrator. Now, I manage applications and automations across my tenant at Contoso. I set DLP policies, help onboard users. But with the launch of PowerPages, I'm really excited for it, but I'm also, as somebody responsible for my tenant administration, wondering, how do I know if my makers are using PowerPages, what sites they're creating? And because those applications are external, I'm probably going to want to be more attentive to those types of apps. And I want to be accountable to my stakeholders around what my makers are doing and get more proactive with it. So Donovan, one of the first questions I have is, how do I go and find out what sites my makers are creating in my Power Platform tenant? And how can I find out more about what's going on within my tenant within this product?
That's actually a very good question, Nikita, and I understand your concerns with that. I understand the concerns of many administrators of an organization. So what I'll do first is I'm going to kind of step through a three-phase process. First part of this, I want to show you where you would first go to administer and monitor all of your Power Platform resources, and then show you where within there you can go and manage and see some of the portals and resources that are being leveraged for PowerPages within Power Platform, which is called the Power Platform Admin Center. So I will go there first and show you really quick. Admins can actually go to admin.powerplatform.microsoft.com. And in here, you can see a list of all the different environments that you have across your entire tenant in your organization. So these are multiple different environments, and each of these environments can actually have multiple different PowerPages sites. So you can actually click into these environments and actually take a look at some of these. So what we'll do is actually take a look at Nikita's environment. As you can see here, we're inside of that environment. We can also take a look at resources that exist in here. We can see all the different security roles, teams, users, and apps as well, along with some of the portals resources. You can see that we have the COE inventory starter portal in here, and then a default Power Platform site that Nikita had actually configured. As you can see here, we can look and see the different types that it is. We can see these are two trials, and we can see that right now there's 2 days left inside of this trial, and there's 119 days left inside of this trial. The thing is about this, though, we're lacking at is that we can't see some of the more fine detail aspects about these PowerPages sites when we're actually looking into this. Another thing is we don't have a great normalized view of seeing all the different Pages sites that exist inside of the entire tenant across all of the environments. So as an admin, imagine if you need to go in and get a quick snapshot of all of the sites and seeing what some of the data security configurations are and the authentication identity configurations are. You're going to have to drill down in each one of these from the Power Platform Admin Center. It's still an amazing tool because you have the ability to see a lot of the other resources and analytics about the entire platform. But specifically with regard to Pages, we have some other capabilities that will allow you to do those deeper dives.
You're right, Donovan. I don't want to look at each environment just to find out if it has a portal. Is there a place to see just the portals deployed within my tenant?
Yeah, for sure. From the Power Platform Admin Center, you can actually come in and expand the resources tab. From here, you'll see capacity, Dynamics 365 apps, and portals. So you can come and click on the portals menu item. And from here, you can view and manage portals across your environments throughout your tenant here. As you can see, we can see the Nikita sites, the test COE site, and the Power Platform Governance test COE site, and those environments as well too.
So Donovan, what can you do with an admin center with the portal?
From here, you can actually come and manage the portal as well too. So let's actually take a look at the default Power Platform site. We can go in and like check for upgrades. We can go and manage. And so once you manage this, you can click on any of these links, and what it'll do is actually open up a new tab in here, which actually takes you to the specific places where you can actually manage and administer the different portal actions. From here, you can manage and edit the portal details and perform some of these really important actions that an admin would typically have to do, like restarting the portal, updating the Dataverse URL, either resetting the portal, changing the portal base URL, and even doing things like disabling custom error messages and enabling diagnostic logging. And also to do other integrations to things like Power BI and SharePoint as well, too.
Hey, Donovan, this is great. And it's good to know that I need to go here sometimes to help my makers set up an integrations and features, and I'm able to temporarily disable a portal. But I like to automate things, and it doesn't look like there's an API for this at this time. What can I do to automate this and work on this in my own terms and create automations potentially for my makers and myself?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question, Nikita. And luckily, we actually have the documentation ready for any admin to go to. So inside of the PowerPages official docs.microsoft documentation, if you actually scroll and you click into the administer PowerPages section, there's actually an actual another section specifically that is surrounding governance that actually our team, including myself, actually wrote up and basically details the features that Nikita and I actually built out inside of what's called the Center of Excellence Starter Kit. And what this starter kit is a bunch of different toolings that were built by the overall PowerCat team. And in here, we created tool sets that help enable administrators and other people who are governing their Power Platform resources do this in a manner that allows them to automate, build new features in as well. And this is all actually built on top of the Power Platform technology as well. Specifically with PowerPages governance, you must, of course, have the Center of Excellence Starter Kit core components installed. And in here, we actually built out these capabilities. So there's what's called a sync flow, and these sync flows are inside of your tenant. These basically sync records between the Dataverse tables from the different environments into the environment that the Center of Excellence Starter Kit Admin View app is actually located. In particular, we have the admin sync flow template for PowerPages, and this Cloudflow actually runs and creates records for whenever new PowerPages sites are actually stood up by end users. So you'll notice that inside of the solution, we'll have a PowerPages table, and you'll see that there's actually a field called PowerPages site, and that basically stores the records here. So if you can see, this is some of the more detailed information that you'll be able to see and that's available for each app. And then this is the actual Power Platform Admin View app. So all of this is readily available for you to read through in details with links back to how to set all of this up and links back to the actual Center of Excellence Starter Kit as well. And on top of that, what we'll do is we'll actually show this in real time. So this is what's called the Center of Excellence Power Platform Admin View app. And it's actually a model-driven app that has all the different resources that get synced by those admin sync flows. So whenever a new Canvas-based Power App is stood up, it is actually stored in the Power Apps table, just like PowerPages sites. Whenever a new PowerPages site is actually created by an end user, there's actually inventory records of this that actually get created and stored inside of Dataverse and can be easily accessed by this view. As you can see the actual display name of the Pages site, the website name, and the actual environment that this exists in. So you can see that Nikita actually, just like we saw inside of the Power Platform Admin Center, we can see the two of those sites that Nikita had set up inside of his environment. So let's take a look at this particular one we were looking at before, the default Power Platform site. The benefits of this is that all of this is automated. And once you enable that Cloudflow, anytime a new portal is created, a PowerPages site is created, you essentially get all of these details about that PowerPages site, not only when it's created, but also when it's updated. So whenever citizen developers or pro devs are in there building portals, setting up their identity providers, setting up data security, whenever they make changes, those changes are actually synced between the environments in the entire tenant. So as you can see, we're capturing details like the environment that it's in, the display name of the site, the actual website URL. Some key features is that you can actually see when the PowerPages site was created on versus when it was modified on, along with the actual inventory record details. And what's important about this is that there may be organizations that have been running PowerPages sites in their tenant across all their environments for a while. And then they're just now learning about the COE. When I say COE, that means Center of Excellence, the COE Starter Kit. And they may come in and follow the directions and stand up the COE Starter Kit. And what the COE Starter Kit does is it still respects when the actual site was stood up versus when the actual inventory record was actually stood up. So you'll notice that we have this PowerPages site was created on June 15th, 2022. So the COE inventory record was actually created on June 15th, 2022. So you can see that we actually had the COE Starter Kit installed when this portal was stood up. Oftentimes you may see where the site was stood up prior to the COE Starter Kit being installed. So you may see differences in that, but we capture those kind of key details as well, along with things like the identity and authentication. Oftentimes, end customers may want to ensure that they are deprecating things based off of what our best guidance and practices are. Oftentimes, customers have the requirement to disable local authentication. As you can see, that this was a new PowerPages site that was stood up. Nikita is not a security expert in this particular scenario, so he doesn't know that he has these strict guidelines that must be followed. Luckily, that admin can go in and see a list of all these portals. That admin was able to go in and see, hey, table permissions are not enabled across the portal on this one here, but it is enabled on the default Power Platform site. So let's actually go in and drill down into this. We can see that local authentication is enabled, but we also see that table permissions are not enabled, which is a concern. That could be a concern for an admin. We can also see that even here that the table permissions are not enabled on some web form steps or advanced form steps. So we even go into that much granularity of showing you where table permissions may not be enabled at, so that admins can then start sending notifications or creating automations that get sent out that create those automated notifications to send to the user who actually stood this portal up. And basically, if that user does not adhere to the organization standards, then the admin has the ability to turn that portal off if they need to, or even go a step further and take and use what's called the PAC CLI to push default configuration sets and customizations to that environment and actually set and point that portal to those configurations. So that's just talking art of the possible there. We're really open to feedback and figuring out how we can even improve some of those possible features as well. Along with that, we also have the Center of Excellence Starter Kit dashboard. And what's awesome about this dashboard is that it gives you the ability to monitor, govern, and nurture all of your different Center of Excellence COE inventory assets as well. You can perform things like basic queries on environments, apps, flows, makers, connections, audit logs, and even PowerPages/portals at scale. Along with this allows admins to perform risk assessments on different viral sharing of connectors and operation usage. And on top of that, you can nurture by finding your star apps and flow makers to see what connectors they're using, what type of apps they're building, and what their year-over-year growth is as well. But since we're specifically doing a deep dive on PowerPages/portals, we can actually navigate directly to that specific dashboard here, where we can see all of these rich data visualizations that kind of give admins an even better view than the Power Platform admin view in the other app as well, right? So this enables admins to come in and quickly say, all right, let's go in and look where we have all PowerPages/portal sites where table permissions are enabled. We can see that we have some where table permissions are not enabled across the entire portal. So admins can quickly go in and diagnose where there may be some data security vulnerabilities within their organization. Also, they can do the same thing to see where all of them are okay as well. And so this gives a quick way to filter back into that also. So as you can see, an admin can also go and get a quick snapshot of all of the PowerPages / portal sites that are in correspondence to data security, right? You can also see the top active departments and the top environments actually being leveraged by makers to create these various sites. And of course, there's other filters that can be used as well. And again, we can see the creation trends. We can see here in the month of September in particular, there was a huge peak in portals for this environment where they were created. And then you can see where in June there was maybe a dip because it was summertime and people weren't necessarily creating new PowerPages / portal sites at the time. So you can see these trends. And of course, we're constantly making improvements in advancements into both the Power BI dashboard, all of the other management apps of this as well too. And we're again looking for feedback so that we can continuously prove the telemetry for PowerPages / portals as well. So let me know what you thought about that, Nikita.
That's great, Donovan. I have given a lot of ideas now, and I want you to make sure I go back home and update the COE starter kit. While this is giving me some ideas, what's next for what you're planning to do?
I'm glad to hear that, Nikita. So in our next video, what we'll do is do a deeper dive in examples of how automations in the COE starter kit work. We'll also do a deep dive into how the cloud flows for the inventory sync of PowerPages works, along with giving ideas on how admins can actually create their own cloud flows to better automate and enhance these governance capabilities as well. We're also excited for the roadmap for the admin APIs for PowerPages that's also coming this fall. So this will also enable admins to have even more capabilities to get creative, to govern and nurture and administer and monitor their PowerPages sites inside of the COE starter kit. Again, please use the links in the video so that way you can get to the COE starter kit and provide feedback in GitHub, and also engage with us with questions and your ideas in the PowerPages community. That's key. We definitely do go and look at and monitor all of the questions and the posts so that we can actually collaborate with the community and build something truly useful for our end users and partners. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you again next time.